Hello folks, Joe Bangles here, President of Dykes on Bikes Melbourne. How is everyone tonight? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. TK, you're on the line, can you hear me? T's on the line. Tim Tam. Hello. Batesy, Deadly Sister, excellent, you can hear me. Well done. My internet is very slow at the moment, so hopefully it holds out. It should be okay for now, but we'll see how we go. So welcome to episode 5 of Dykes Off Bikes. You get to meet all our members. I can't believe we're 5 weeks in. It seems like it was only yesterday, literally, that we come up with this idea to do this Insta Live stuff. So it's blown me away that 5 weeks have gone this fast. So week 5, we've got Bec. Bec is our recently appointed Vice President of the club. So we're going to chat to Bec. All things Dykes, bikes and life, pretty much. So also we want to talk about lesbian visibility. So yesterday, April 26, was Lesbian Day of Visibility, and in our eyes you can never have too many lesbians. We are Dykes on Bikes Melbourne. We are part of one of the biggest lesbian organisations in the world, and we carry that very proudly. So we're going to chat about all things lesbians, which is, who we are and why we're here. So we're going to get Bec on the line. Now, I just think I saw Bec come up. Give me a second. Where are we? Bec. Well, where are you hiding? Bec, for some reason it's telling me you're unable to join. So maybe that's something in your settings. Where are we? Give me a second. No. Bex, where are you? Bec. Give me a wave, Bec, if you're on the line. Some reason it's saying that you're unable to join. You might want to quickly check your settings. We've got a few regulars on the line. Fee's back. Kiwi Chick 75. That's probably a relation of Bec's, I reckon. Mel Kelly's on the line. Hey Mel. Mel was our guest last week. We got to chat about all kinds of stuff. Dykes on Bikes and Dykes on Bikes Sydney, which is a really cool conversation. We could have banged on for hours. Bex, where are you hiding? Bec. And we've got Lance TV. Hello Lance. It's good to have you in the house. TK's online. We've got someone from London. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Look out. Here we go. Looks like we might have a connection, folks. Connecting. Here we go. Oh, hello.
Hi, welcome to Telstra.
You made it, finally.
Finally.
Good work. Yeah, it was saying something like unable to join or something, but anyway. It's all good. How are you?
Hot, surprisingly.
Really? Have you got the heater going?
Got the heater going. I'm in the study and it's really hot, so yeah, maybe I can move to a different room.
You'll be all right. You'll cool down. So if you want to, can you introduce yourself and your pronouns and we'll get in and have a chat?
Sure. My name's Rebecca, and then I moved to Australia, and as all Australians do, they tend to shorten your name, so Becca became. She and her are my pronouns. I also have a nickname in New Zealand. Hello to any family members. Kia ora. Back in...
a few on there. I've noticed a few.
Yeah, so they'll be there. So kia ora to the whānau. So in New Zealand, I have my name is Pumpkin or Punks. Nobody actually knows me by Rebecca. So if I go home and you introduce me as Rebecca, they won't know who you're referring to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I was going to talk to you about punks and where that come from, but that's good. We got straight into that. Brilliant.
Oh, it's a very...
got that as your rego too.
Yeah. And I mainly did that because of my mum. So mum always called me Punks. So it just reminds me of her. Yeah, but I was a large body baby when I was born. So it started off as Pumpkin.
Yeah.
And it changed to Pumpkin. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice one.
Yeah.
I've just been watching this series on Netflix. Shit, now I can't think what it's called. And I can't think what it's called now. It's really, it's a good show, but he calls his daughter Punks.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll think what it is, and I'll let you know what it is. Good one. Yeah. All right. So, for those who are watching,
I was a bit out of place, but trying to get my camera set up here.
It's good to see you nice and prepared.
I was on my laptop, and then it just didn't connect. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Insta, you can only use it on phones or an iPad.
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
It's a weird thing because it's designed for phones. Anyway. All right. We've got a few people on the line. If anyone's got any questions, send them through. Looks like you got a few. There's a few people, cuzzies and stuff happening online. Excellent. Okay, cool. So yesterday was a very important day. We had Lesbian Day of Visibility.
Yes.
And for anyone online, we put together a video and spoke about, stuff what lesbian visibility means to us. And I just wanted to touch on that a bit and have a chat. Like, what does lesbian visibility mean to you? Like, what's it mean?
I'm probably a bit like you. I remember you telling us your story a few weeks ago in terms of growing up, in the 80s. You were the only one that was sort of out, or not even out, but that tomboy kid who, I was the first person in town to have a BMX. I was the only girl that played rugby, and didn't actually have anybody that I could look to or identify with that was the same as me. And I was surrounded by very strong, amazing females, which, was empowering in itself, but didn't have that same, I felt different on the inside and I knew I was different, but I didn't have anybody that I could look to. And it wasn't until, later in life, and again, because I was from a town of 3,000 people, related to everybody as well. So it was really important for me to be able to be out and proud and be okay with having that. And 20 years ago, the partner that I had two small children, and I knew the youngest one was gay at the time, right from the get-go. You can always sort of tell. Yeah. And so it was important for me, for her to actually see me as being, that strong gay woman.
Yeah.
But when she was 10, she came up to me and she was like, Ma, she's actually on the call as well, so she's watching. She, Ma, I like girls. And I was like, that's so cool, sweetie. And we just had the conversation. And then she just went, played.
Is that Tim Tam? She just gone, that's me. So proud. That's awesome.
Never actually, we were chatting about it before. She goes, I don't even remember having to come out. And I said, that's because you didn't have to. It was just a natural thing for her to be able to say, I like girls. And, so being out and visible and changing people's perspectives and making kids feel comfortable with who they are to me is important. And so that's when it sort of became, I guess, more of what can I do? Yes, I've helped my daughter, but what else can I do in terms of the community? And that's when I was towards the club.
Yeah, and like staying back, like when we come out, like I come out, God, it was 1990. 5 or 6, I think it was, somewhere there. So I was like 20, nearly 21. I didn't know any other lesbian. Like the word lesbian wasn't even in my vocabulary. I didn't even know what it was. I'd never met a gay person. Like just, I didn't even know it existed. You know, and it was just really bizarre. Like when I come out and I come to that realization, I didn't even know, you know, what it was or anything like that. But, you know, and it wasn't until I did realize and I did come out that I started seeing, I guess, all these lesbians out there. And I don't know, because back then, like, we couldn't Google things. There was nothing there. So, you know, didn't have the internet and stuff like that. And we certainly didn't have the smartphones and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I guess it's like, you know, when you buy a particular car and then you start seeing them everywhere on the road.
Colour.
Like, it's like when I come out and that, and then it's like, fuck, now there's like all these lesbians, you know what I mean? Like there was, you know, like musicians and actors and, you know, all this stuff, whether it was lesbian or a gay guy or, you know, like it just, all these people, like it's like, where have I been living? Like I've been hiding under a rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's unreal, you know, how much more you're aware of it once you're aware of yourself kind of thing. So to have those strong role models around you is really important. Now, whether they're someone, I think, you know, that is a part of your family or a part of you know, your family friends or something, or whether it's someone that's on TV or it's a musician or, you know, some kind of, you know, even just a celebrity or something, to have that visibility is really important to help people wanting to come out, to help them not feel alone. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I think, that lesbian visibility, why it's so important, you know, just to give people the sense that they're not alone, whether they know someone directly. And especially like, you know, yourself, you say you grew up in a town of, what was it, 3,000 people?
Yeah.
You would absolutely feel like the only gay in the village.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
There was another one, Cuzzy.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that and how he's reconnected and stuff. But, you know, it's interesting. Like, I grew up in a small town too, but definitely not as small as 3,000 people. Like, I grew up in Geelong, you know, and we've got hundreds of thousands of people here, but I still felt like the only gay in the village.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long to realise I wasn't. But, you know, it's just, you got to have that visibility around you. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel yesterday? Like after we put the videos out and stuff like that, and there was a lot of stuff on social media. Did that make a difference to you? Did it make you feel anything? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, it does, because it makes you feel like you're part of something. You know, I've always been a bit of a loner, so, you know, I didn't feel like I had a voice. Whereas now collectively as a group, you know, we can put ourselves out there, and, you know, those videos that you're putting together are awesome. So I think it makes us collectively, it's a louder voice that's getting out there to the community, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a few messages yesterday just from random people. Happy Lesbian Visibility Day. Like, that's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We were doing the video, it was a bit of a mouthful to say.
We kept saying, when we say Happy Lesbian Invisibility Day, like, it's like, hang on, no, it's visibility, not invisibility. Because when you try and you say it so many times, it's like a bloody tongue twister. I can't even say that. Tongue twister. Which you think us lesos would be used to that, but, you know. So along these lines, now we touched on this before or this afternoon when we were texting about tonight's interview, and we're going to get this over and done with like super, super quick. Tell me about who inspires you and why.
God, okay, that's going to be really fast. My mum inspires me. Mum passed away a year and a half ago, so it's still pretty raw for me. But she was an amazing woman who quite got on with things, didn't make a lot of noise, but always looked out for everyone else. Was very just a strong lady. Like, she just never complained with it. So.
Now, how was she when you came out? How old were you when you came out?
The conversation I had with Mum, I was 26. I knew my whole life, right from you know, playing mummies and daddies when I was little. I'll be the daddy type. That was happening at a young age. But yeah, I was 26 when I came out. I'd actually moved to Australia, and probably in some ways that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come over here, just to have that, being out of small town, related to everybody, as I said. So when I told Mum, she just was like, "It's all right, bub." She goes, "I love you the same." You know, like it was her. And we actually had a conversation a couple of years ago. When I was growing up, Dad always called me boy, and I thought I was a boy for a long time.
Yeah, wow.
You know, working on the farm with him, I'd have no shirt on. You know, just like I thought, couldn't understand why I couldn't wee standing up. Like all that sort of stuff. You know, I really thought
you probably can, you know, if you practice.
And I said to Mum, you know, did it ever concern you? And she said, I knew you would work it out. She goes, I just let you work it out yourself, and I was there to talk to if you needed to. So she was, you know, for somebody who was born in the 40s, she was pretty open and didn't have any judgment about anything. So she just left it to us to work stuff out. So just pretty cool.
Yeah. God, I wish my mum was like that. My mum completely flipped her shit when I come out, which someone else outed me, actually, which was really, really shit. So I grew up with my mum always saying, if you ever turn out butch, I'll brain you. So what the fuck, what does brain you mean? I don't know, but it didn't sound like anything positive, you know. So when I finally did realise, like, I was absolutely petrified to tell my mum. I thought my dad would understand because I was my dad's right-hand man, you know, like I was always with Dad fishing, building stuff, you know, down the shed, like doing all, I guess, stereotypical boys things, you know, playing footy and all that. But then, Mum always said that, and I was absolutely shit scared to tell her. And then she rang me one night in the middle of the night and said to me, "Who are you sleeping with?" Because I wasn't living at home at the time. And I said my partner's name at the time, and she just hung up on me. And she rang me back about 3 times and asked me 3 times in a row, "Who am I sleeping with?" And she hung up on me every time. And I was so scared to go and tell my mum, like to actually face her, you know, face to face. And then I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks before I actually went and spoke to her face to face. But cut a long story short, there was a lot of conversations. There was a lot of heartache. There was a lot of tears. And, you know, the conversations from her was, where did I go wrong? And all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of got a little bit better. And then Mum rang me one day out of the blue, and I was at work, and she was in tears. And I'm like, "What's wrong, Mum?" She goes, "I get it now." And she's like blubbering like this, and I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you get?" And she goes, "I get it, I understand." And I'm like, "What? How? Why?" And she goes, "I've been watching Oprah." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she goes, "Yeah, it was Cher." So Cher was on the TV, and it's a very famous interview. It was Cher and Oprah, and it was when Chastity first came out as a lesbian, and this was pre Chastity's transition. So, and that just would have blown my mum's mind, you know, like she could barely deal with, you know, a lesbian or a gay person. So yeah, and I mean, you know, and I think back about that now, and that's the only level of education that was out there for a parent that, you know, was dealing with kids coming out. Like now, you know, you've got organizations that you can go to for support and help and stuff like that, you know, but back then we didn't have PFLAG or anything even remotely close to that. And so that's where my mum first got her, I guess, support education, was through the stuff that Cher and Oprah were talking about. Like, and there's a bloody absolutely hilarious side to that. There's a really sad side to that, but I'm really grateful that that was there. So maybe I'll give Oprah or Cher a call one day and thank him. But yeah, it's just interesting that was the only education that Mum ever had, and ever since that day, my mum was my best mate and never ever had a problem ever since. And she just completely supported me and was like my best mate from then on in. And we just got so close. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Amazing story. Like, really, that, you know, Oprah, you're gonna have to send her a letter or something.
I've thought about it. I think it'd be pretty bloody funny. Like, it just spins me out. I'll never forget that phone call ever. You know, and she was so upset, but she's like, I get it now, I get it. And I think it's because of the way that, because Cher dealt with it so openly and honestly, and also Cher beat herself up over it, you know, like, where did I go wrong? But there wasn't any education out there at the time to say, well, it's not anything a parent does. It's like, it's not a choice. It's just, you know, it's not bad parenting. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? We could talk about that for hours, couldn't we? Let's talk about motorbikes and stuff too.
Sorry? I've never actually told my father, though. We've never had that conversation, so I don't even know how that'd go down, which is interesting.
Right.
But
so
yeah, a whole other...
Your mum and dad, were they still together?
No, they said 80s, early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a whole interview.
Do you talk to your dad?
No.
Okay. Well, that makes...
I speak to him, but no, we don't have a relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is it something that's important to you for him to know, or?
No.
No.
No. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need his thoughts or approval for it. So,
yeah. Fair enough.
Serious for a second.
No. I was just thinking, my dad, he didn't approve at all. Yeah, and he, just never ever dealt with it, or, you know, or anything. And then my mum and dad broke up. I think it was about 6 or 8 years before my mum passed away. And yeah, I haven't had a relationship with my dad kind of ever since. He just disappeared from the family. But I was really, really close with my dad growing up. And mum and dad were married for like 36 years. And so, like, we were really super close family. We did heaps of stuff together and all that. But then when mum and dad broke up, dad just, like, I don't know, I think he just felt it easier just to disappear and not have any connection with myself or my brother, any of my extended family, which he was really, really close to. But then I ran into my dad at my grandmother's funeral in October last year, and he was there with his new partner, and she's lovely, absolutely lovely, and really open-minded, and come and had a chat to me and all this stuff. And then my dad come and said g'day to me, and I spoke to him, and I said to him, oh, Dad, I'm getting married. And he went, oh, okay, yep. And I go, oh, it'd be good if you come. And that was all that was really spoken. Like, he doesn't really speak a lot. And then about 3 or 4 days before I got married, I got a phone call from his partner, and she said, we'd love to come. And then my dad sent me a text and he said I'd love to come, and he come to my wedding, and it still blows me away. I haven't heard from him since.
Yeah.
There's been no contact or anything, but he rocked up and he come to my wedding. So I don't know, maybe he's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tend to get a bit mellow in their older age, I think.
Yeah, well, my dad, he'd be 70, probably 74 now, I reckon he'd be.
Yeah.
You know, so he's not getting any younger.
I think mine's 71.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about some fun stuff like motorbikes, hey?
Cool.
What do you reckon? Yeah, we've done some serious stuff. So how long have you been a member of Dykes on Bikes Melbourne?
I joined in May 2018. So coming up for 2 years.
God, that's gone really fast.
It has.
Hasn't it? Wow. That spins me out. And you've recently
Yes,
been appointed Vice President of the club?
Yes, I have, which was unexpected, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
December-ish. So yeah, no, and we've had all of the events over that period as well, so it's been amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of work that goes into the club behind the scenes.
There is.
A lot, yeah. Yeah.
What sort of goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of admin work and coordination of work, and you know, it is a voluntary thing as well, so you do put a lot of time in, especially you, Joe. You know, you're always pulling together like those videos. You know, that's not a 5-minute job. That's a lot of effort goes into doing that. So it's something where, because of the passion towards the club and the community, that's why we do it. So
yeah, I think we touched on that a bit last week, like with Mel Kelly, and you know, it's that legacy of those amazing women that have come, you know, long before us in the club, and we just carry on that name, that tradition.
Yes.
And then there's a real honour in that too. So we just do what we do, don't we? Get on with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we had a question here before too that someone asked. What's your favourite album?
That's Prince, Purple Rain.
Nice
album.
One. Choice.
Be my favourite song of all time. Choice. Yeah, cool.
There's someone on here wanting to know if you'll have their baby.
I'm talented. Maybe that's something I can work out.
Give it a crack, hey? What do you reckon? So what do you ride? What was your first bike?
My first bike was when I was about 12, and I can't remember what it was, but it was black and white. I lived on a farm in New Zealand, very hilly, like amazing hills. So that's where amazing fun. And we had a 3-wheeler that had no brakes as well, which also was amazing fun on hills. You know, it was just putting it up. So yeah, that was great. But then we had a scooter as well that we used to ride around the farm, which was always fun. We'd have like 4 of us on it at any time. So crazy. Then, you know, I got my car license when I was 15 and didn't sort of look at bikes as being an option. And so a couple of years, I thought, why not? And yeah, so here I am.
So now I know, but other people on the line might not know that you've actually got 2 bikes at the moment.
Yes. Did you want to go and have a look?
We will, yeah. Now, tell us about your first bike.
So my first one is, because I'm on my restricted license and you can only get a certain size. So my first one is a Honda Rebel CMX 500. Yeah. It's black. It's my personalised plate on there because of Mum. Mum's maiden name was Black, so it's sort of her all over. And it's a cruiser style bike. And I just got a new exhaust put on it, and it's obnoxiously loud, so we'll check it out when we go outside. And then I've got a Cafe Racer style Royal Enfield Continental 650.
which is pretty new.
Pretty new.
Very
It's
nice.
blue in colour, and I'm naming it after my niece because her name's Stony Blue. So it's Stony.
Nice one. We'll have to go out and check them out soon.
Yes, we can go now if you want to.
Yeah, let's go and check them out.
Okay. Walking with me.
Are you going to fire them up?
Sure.
Why wouldn't you? Disturb the neighbours, wake them up.
I know, they will.
They'll be right. I may have been known to, kick mine over at 3 or 4 a.m.
As you would, of course. But
They're
it's
up neighbours. Why wouldn't we?
first. Oh. I don't know, can we...
Have you got a dog or a cat?
Got 2 cats. So that's the new one.
Very
It's
nice.
dark. So that's the Royal
Yeah.
Enfield.
The light, you can't really see how blue it is. Like, I mean, it looks fantastic, but like in the daylight, it's amazing.
Yes. So I'll turn that one on.
So it's got 2 exhausts. Yeah.
And then this is the other one.
Start the other one up as well. Get them both going. Very cool.
Is it loud
Nice
enough?
one. Yeah. Very cool. Have you been riding much lately?
No. Only if it's essential.
Right. We're allowed to ride our bikes.
I know. I always take my backpack and it's like, yeah, I'm going out to buy something. It's essential. I have to go into the city tomorrow for an appointment, so I'll be riding in.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
I'm back.
So do you, when you go to work, do you normally commute or do you take the car or you public transport?
Normally drive car, but I was going to try and ride more.
Yeah. So for work, tell us a bit about what you do and why you do it.
Okay. When I came to Australia 21 years ago, a week later I started at Telstra and I've been there ever since. Currently I work in a program office environment, so that's where we manage programs of work, so projects that we're working on across the company. So these are HR projects, so it could be training. At the moment we're doing a lot around health and safety, so the whole COVID-19 piece of work, so all of the projects that we have are managed through the program office. So
Yeah.
we also just changed the way we manage our projects, and so I'm working on a lot of processes at the moment as well around that and how it affects us as an HR function.
Yeah. And you're currently working at home at the moment?
For 7 weeks.
Yeah. And how do
Yeah.
you find
like, I think every Kiwi watched it and went, oh my God, what are the cameras in our home or something?
Yeah, right.
It was really relatable, aspects of it, as a people, very fierce and strong beliefs about our culture. But, there were elements of growing up that it was hard and tough. So I would relate. But then that's probably like that in any culture who watches it. It was just so in your face, though. They didn't hold any punches at all. It's a pretty confronting.
Yeah, I was going to It's a very confronting movie, but yeah, it was an amazing movie, and especially like back then in the 90s, you know, like it was pretty full on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one, excellent. So going back to bikes and stuff, you rode in Pride this year and Pride last year, and
Yes.
Chill Out,
Yep, 2 times.
and this year you rode in Mardi Gras.
Did first time. It was amazing. I'll
Yeah.
be addiction now. Like it's like, oh, I'm already planning for next year. You know, it's just one of those things. It's just such an amazing experience that you can't describe it to anybody until they go through it themselves. So, you know, if you can get on the back of a bike with someone or ride yourself, I encourage everybody to at least do it once in your life. It's just even the beforehand, actually, before the parade itself, you spend the whole day with our community. And I'm an observer. I was just sitting there sort of a bit awestruck watching everybody and just, you know, everybody coming together. You can tell there's old friends that are catching up for the first time in 12 months, and just seeing that community spirit is pretty amazing. And then once you actually get on the bike, it's your adrenaline just goes through the roof. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's quite a long wait, isn't it? Like, because we got to get there at, I don't know, what is it, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then yeah, by the time we ride, it's like 7:30 or something like that. So, but you're right, it's really cool to hang out with all the people that you only get to see once a year. It's pretty amazing. And hello, lesbian visibility. There's like 200 of us. That's just the riders, and then, you know, every second bike's got a pillion. So yeah, it's good. You make a lot of friends, and there's a shitload of bikes to look at too. So there's plenty of bike porn there.
And they're like you sort of almost expect, you know, there are a lot of cruisers, but there are just so many varieties of bikes. You could spend the whole day just looking at them. It's awesome. If you're into riding, like, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Now, you hired a Royal Enfield up there.
I did.
Was that the first time that you'd ridden a Royal Enfield?
It was.
And you fell in love with it, and so you just went and bought one?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I did. You know, it was as soon as I got on it, I thought I'm really comfortable with it. It was just a fun and different type of ride. So
yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole weekend of test riding before I bought it, so it was pretty cool.
It was the model that you're on, though, was slightly different, wasn't it? I'm just trying to remember. Was it the same, was it?
Mental, yeah.
Right. Maybe actually, no. Maybe Mel Kelly, if you're on the line, Kelly Chrome, what model was yours? Because you're on the Enfield as well. Maybe I'm thinking of that one. Maybe, yeah, I can't really remember.
Well, look the same. Like, all of the specs about them are the same, except I think the handlebars are slightly different, and the peg position slightly different.
Yeah. So, do you prefer riding the Enfield to your Honda?
At the moment, yes.
Are you going to keep your Honda, or are you going to sell it, do you reckon?
No, I'll keep it. At least until, you know, I get off my restricted. So, and now with the exhaust, it sounds a bit better than it did.
Yeah.
This was really quiet. I didn't like it. So,
yeah. What pipes did you get put on it?
The Vance and Hines specific Honda Rebel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mel's just said it was model.
Same model, but different. Okay. Yeah, I think Mel's was like an orangey kind of colour.
It was.
Have we got any questions on the line? There was a few questions that come through before. I'll just see what's on there. No, that's all right.
Other than me giving some babies, it's probably about it.
So, who's your favourite cousin?
That would be Cuzzy.
Cuzzy. It's quite cool. They both call each other Cuzzy. Now, you didn't have any contact for a long time.
No, well, you know, I'm 5 years older than Cuzzy. So I remember when she started primary school, she was this little poppet, and then I, went off to high school, and life happened, and I moved over here, and we didn't see each other for a long time, and then I think I was in Pink Sofa or something, and I'm scrolling through, and I went, oh, that person looks familiar, and so I messaged her, and so that was like 10 years ago. And yeah, we've been hanging out ever since. And now we live 20 minutes away from each other. So
how cool's that?
No.
Yeah. Well, we've got a question.
Like we went to Mardi Gras together, and we'd go to chill out and things like that. So, because really Tabitha's the only family that I have here in Melbourne, as a blood family.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Other than still on the call somewhere, which is my daughter.
Yeah, who's your favourite daughter? Tim Tam's asking that. Okay, so why did you join DOB? How did you hear about DOB, and why did you join?
I mean, I think we've said it every week. We've all grown up seeing Dykes on Bikes on TV, and watching Mardi Gras and seeing the rides, and never actually thinking that you'd be part of such a legacy at all. I never thought I'd ever be in the club. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago, and Cuzzy and I and Lizzie, we were venturing out and going to Pride of our Footscray. And behind the bar was yourself. Would buy you a couple of shots and have a conversation, and you encouraged us to come along. So, the three of us all sort of joined around the same time, and that's where we both, or the three of us, actually got to really hear about the club and what the club does, and you make it very welcome and included, and it was always one of those, when you first started talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it one day, and then I went, no, I'm actually going to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, put
and
it
the
on
club
the list.
Better for having you lot a part of it.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. Yeah.
It has. Pretty awesome.
We've got another question. It's April Hollywood. What would you say to someone wanting to get their license and start riding?
Do it. Just do it. Like, if it's something that you've thought about and you've contemplated doing, like, there's obviously desire inside you, like it's there for a reason. So don't put it off. Just start looking at bikes. That for me, I didn't actually buy a bike straight. It wasn't the first one I saw. It was probably a good 6+ months of me actually looking and asking questions, and then that desire just really takes hold, and go for it. Don't you book in to get your license, get it in, just go for it.
Yeah. Good answer. And I don't know if people are aware that Dykes on Bikes Melbourne also encourage our members, because you don't actually have to be a rider to join Dykes on Bikes Melbourne. We are a social club as well, but we do encourage people, if they want to get their license, that we do help. And we also have a fund there available to help people finance getting their license, and also rider courses and stuff like that. So it's always been a something that's there, because it's not cheap to get your license these days. So, and not everyone's in a financial position to just, shell out. I think it's like $500 a go or something.
Yeah.
And by the time you get your license, your learners, your check ride, and then your full license, it can add up quite quickly. So we've got that fund there that we use and encourage people to use it to get their license. So,
which is pretty awesome. So if you think about it,
what was that?
But if you think anybody on here thinking about it, go for it. It's the best thing. You'll have so much fun riding. I'm addicted to it. Could do it every day.
Do you remember the first time you got on a bike and just took off like a rocket?
I remember when I was 12 years old, and I used to every day go and collect milk from the two teachers, like older ladies who lived up the road, who now in hindsight were a gay couple living together. No idea.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Anyway, I used to go on my bike, and I'd have to go on the road. Back then, you know, it was highly illegal.
Yeah.
Bottles on the back of me, on my back, and I used to just gun it, and that was the best day. It was just, as a 12-year-old kid, no helmet. It was, you know, 80s as we did, no protection. It was just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me is still, I think, where that love of riding really came from.
Yeah. We used to, my mate had, they own an airfield, and we used to race the planes along the runway and race the trains up along the fence line. Yeah, we could never outride them. We're on this, I don't know, it was a road bike, but we were riding it in the paddock, and it had wheels on it that were like bicycle wheels. It was just a bucket of shit, but God, we gave it everything we could. It was so much fun. Yeah. How old were you when you got your bike license?
How old am I now? So that was last year. I would have been 44.
44. Yeah. Yeah. There's a massive rise of women in general, not just, you know, lesbians, but just women in general that are riding these days. Like, there's a massive amount of women that are riding. You know, it's really, really good to see. And there's a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Out, you know, a lot of clubs. Like the leaders, they always watch every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they're good friends of ours, big supporters. So it's good to see them tuning in. Yeah. Yeah. Now we've got more questions. What do we got? I'm a farm and a little nervous about riding as an adult. When you get your license, when you're going for your license, you do a 2-day riding course, so you get your confidence back pretty quick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The other thing, if you are nervous, go and have a one-on-one. You know, after you've got your license, just go and have an occasional one-on-one with someone, and it helps build up your confidence. So if there's any particular, you know, a lot of people have issue, they can turn left, but they can't turn right. Or like quite common, I think. So if you go and have a one-on-one session with someone, and they'll work on those things for you or with you. So I think that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you want to do it, just get in and do it. Give it a go. Absolutely. Well, it looks like we're starting to run out of time. What time is it? Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left. What else haven't we covered? Have you, if you could do any parade in the world, what would you do? Which one?
So I've always had this wish to go to as many parades around the world as possible, and almost do like a coffee book on all of the parades with photos attached, and then joining the club, it's like, okay, now what, where do I want to ride? And then I was thinking, Amsterdam, do they actually like let you have jet skis? Imagine doing Amsterdam.
Yeah, we've spoken about that. That'd be unreal.
It'd be so cool. And next year is their 25th year anniversary, and I thought, well, imagine if we could actually, because I should be in Europe next year around that time. So
yeah,
how fun would that be, in Amsterdam on a jet ski?
Be so good.
So fun.
Amazing. Yeah. Maybe we should write to him and ask him. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. Because, I mean, that would be so awesome. Dykes on jet skis.
Wonder if we have to wear a bloody helmet. We'll have to get our bikinis out.
Oh, God. Board short.
Classic. All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. I could keep chatting all night, but yeah, we're going to get booted off this thing in a minute. It gives us an hour, so, and then it just boots off. So, someone just asked if they can view these on YouTube. I'm in the process at the moment of putting all of our interviews into our YouTube channel. They're currently being uploaded onto our Facebook page. And they're also going onto our YouTube channel, and then they'll all be linked to our website. So hoping to have them all up in the next couple of days. So thanks, Bec. We love having you around the club, you and your cousin and Lizzie. it's a breath of fresh air, and the enthusiasm and the laughter has just been amazing around the club. So thank you for bringing that in, and thank you for all you do for the club behind the scenes. It does take a lot of, and to sometimes coordinate, you know, a group of 40 odd 50 plus women that are all very, very passionate and headstrong isn't always the easiest task. So thank you for your help on all that. So thank you, everybody. Next week we've got Seb on Dykes OFF Bikes, and that will be back here next Monday night at 7 p.m. We'll see you then. Thank you. Ride safe.
See ya.
See ya. Thanks, Bec.